Hi, so today we're going to talk about the 5 different techniques you use with Swedish, and we'll be using those on the back. So I'll just kind of go through all of them kind of in sequence of how they're normally done. So we're just going to start by undraping the back. And usually when you undrape, I just kind of shake it down, and then just if they have underwear on, tuck into the underwear, and then just kind of seal it around the side so that you have a nice area to work on. And then make sure that all of their hair is pulled up to the top and out of the way so you don't get any oil in it. If you have a towel or something, you can always put that over the top of the head to kind of keep the hair out of the way as well. And then we're tonight just going to be using some oil. And then I always try to warm it up before putting it on their back so it's not so cold. And then we're just basically going to start with some Effleurage strokes, which is working the oil into the skin and kind of getting it ready for all of the techniques that we're going to be doing. So for Effleurage, it's basically just a sliding or a gliding stroke. Something that you're using basically just to apply whatever product you're going to be using on the skin. Alright, so once you get oil onto the back, you're just going to go ahead and do some sliding strokes, which is known as Effleurage. Basically just working the oil or the product into the skin and then warming up the tissue. So they're pretty basic strokes, just kind of working the whole back, sliding down with your hands, and then coming back up along the side, and then just kind of finishing off the stroke at the neck. And then I always like to come around, and then always starting at the lower back, and then again just kind of continuing with some sliding strokes to warm up the tissue all over the back. With Effleurage, it's always nice to start off with one side of the body and then kind of work your way to the other side of the body. It's just easier on you, so you don't have to constantly reach over as you're performing massage. So you can always do some nice sliding techniques along the spine, one hand after the other, all the way up, and then just kind of wrapping around the scapula and then kind of coming all the way back down. So a finishing stroke would be anything where you're kind of ending where you start, so the client doesn't feel a disconnect in the body, and then you always finish your stroke. So this is just a nice, easy, gliding stroke, all the way up, all the way down, and then you can kind of get creative with it if you want to do some knuckling, and then just kind of knuckle all the way up, and then maybe just slide back down. Or you can do some variations where you just kind of use the edge of your hand with some knuckling, making sure that the pressure isn't too deep for the client. And really just kind of getting creative with it. So using any part of your hand, but really all we're doing is just gliding and sliding. So if we want to knuckle along the side, we can do some knuckling along the side, kind of pulling those muscles away from the spine, all the way down. Just some nice, easy strokes. And then if we go all the way up, working our way back down to the bottom. So just nice, easy knuckle gliding all the way along the spine. A really good way to do this to kind of keep your focus, I guess, would be to start at the bottom where we have been starting, and then just kind of divide the back into sections. So like this lower section, this mid section, and then this upper section. So really you can kind of work your way up doing different strokes in the bottom section, and then kind of working up to the top section, and then working all the way up into the top. So bottom, mid, top. And then just always finishing with that final kind of complete stroke. And that's pretty much Effleurage. And like I said, you can get really creative here and just kind of use your imagination and do different things with the person's skin.